Hello everyone, Gebatron here. The results of the poll are in, and it looks like the majority of you didn't care what was covered in the first video of 2022, just so long as they keep coming. For those of you who voted for the gameplay plus commentary stuff, don't worry, I'm currently writing a new one of those, so stay tuned. Anyway, let's get into some ways to improve your communication in Hell Let Loose, and make sure to put your tips and advice in the comments as well. With Hell Let Loose filling the void between more casual shooters like Battlefield and Call of Duty, and more hardcore tactical shooters like Squad and Postscriptum, it's a lot of people's first game where the results of good communication can make a big difference in how a match plays out. As such, a lot of Hell Let Loose players are not used to, or not really comfortable talking a whole lot. This leads to my first tip. Break the ice. More than once. Start off early by asking how everyone is doing. Ask who all has a mic, and ask for a mic check so players can make adjustments to their microphones early. Tell players that don't have mics to use text chat. But be aware that even asking for these things might not be enough, and breaking the ice might take time. There's a good example of this in the video in the top right. In that example, I start the game as squad leader and no one talks to me early on, but as time goes on, I keep giving instructions, keep giving updates, and after a bit of time, the whole squad is communicating and having a good time and seeing the positive results of communicating. You don't have to be an officer to do this either, and I recommend you do it in any role. There are a lot of new squad leaders too, so help make them comfortable by showing them it's okay to talk. Use squad names over player names. I see a lot of guides, commander guides especially, that usually say something like, use the squad leader's name when talking in command chat versus their squad name. The idea here is that it will be a more personal approach, and you'll get better compliance from those squads. Now, I don't have a problem with this if you are having a hard time getting a squad leader's attention, but it doesn't benefit anyone else in the bigger picture. Think of it from another squad leader's perspective. Let's say I'm Able squad leader and Fuzzy Pickles 12 is Charlie squad leader. If the commander asks Fuzzy Pickles 12 to place a garrison on his location, it's very hard for me to know where that is. Remember, I'm also trying to make plans according to what is happening. I'll first have to open my map and hover over all the little squad dots until I find Fuzzy Pickles 12, or I'll have to bring up the team screen to find their name, to identify what squad they are, and then return to the map and see how my squad fits into this plan. Maybe we were about to place a Gary and we could overlap with each other. If the CO would have said Charlie's squad place a garrison, instead of asking Fuzzy Pickles 12 directly, I would have been able to identify that just by opening up the map and finding the C, making it much more efficient for all other officers. Stand by and repeat. As we all know, things can get hard to understand with multiple channels and heavy combat, so it's important to remember that it is okay to let people know if you aren't ready for their information. I use the word stand by when someone is talking to me and I'm not ready to hear them, but saying something like hold on or just a moment also works. Just make sure you are using it consistently. It's also okay to ask people to repeat themselves. You won't be hurting anyone's feelings by saying these things, and it will help make sure that more information is being conveyed and acted upon. Consistency and habit. Making sure you are using some of the same phrases consistently will make conveying the things that happen frequently second nature. Saying things like new OP up, or enemy garrison on Able mark, or stand by, every time those specific situations occur will make it much easier for you to juggle everything. After making certain phrases and words part of your repeated vocabulary, you'll find it becomes much easier to listen to one channel while talking in another. This is one of the best practices for helping to juggle command and squad chat. Passive versus active listening. Another thing that will help juggle the different channels is working on different ways to listen. Active listening is when someone has your full attention. Passive listening is when you are only listening for key words. When I play squad leader, I tend to use passive listening in command chat while using a more active style with my squad. If in command chat I hear a statement start out with something like, "Hey commander," I can more or less tune it out as it likely ends with, "Can I get a heavy at mid?" or something else that doesn't impact me or my squad very much. If I hear Able squad, then I know I need to stop and listen and give my attention to command chat. Being able to listen passively is a skill that requires effort, and it isn't easy, but once you are able to do it, you'll never look back. Use proximity chat. There will be certain times where you and your squad may be split up for a specific purpose. Say the squad leader has set the support player and the anti-tank player to a location to build an anti-tank gun. Using proximity versus squad chat will help keep squad chat clear to help the squad leader listen to command, all while still being perfectly suited for the support and anti-tank player to coordinate and get that gun built. Long story short, use proximity when applicable to help keep other chats clear. Confirmation. It's important to confirm that you have heard and understood the information others gave you. As a habit from work, I say, Roger that. But you could say, okay, or understood, or whatever. Just try to keep it consistent. This helps people know that you know what's going on. What happens to me a lot is I'll do something like ask my support player to put supplies on my supply mark for a garrison, and if I don't hear a confirmation of some kind, then I have to stop and get a visual on them. If they are out of line of sight, then I have to check my map to see if they are heading in the right direction. And all this takes time and mental energy that could be focused on something else. If I would have gotten a simple sounds good or something like that, I would have been able to mentally move on to the next task. Make sure you are confirming things so everyone knows you are all on the same page. Combining marks with comms. This tip is pretty simple. Just make sure you are providing some context and calling attention to your marks when you place them. Make sure you are letting both your squad and command know, so not only is your squad alerted, but also other squads. They can then take a look and mark it for themselves if need be. The same goes with your pings. What are you pinging? Make sure to be specific and ask your squad leader for a mark if applicable. Remember that members of other squads cannot see your pings. Only your squad members can. Be specific. Make sure you are giving information that is complete, or as complete as the situation allows. Think of this in steps with the most basic information first. Enemy infantry on my ping is a great start. Enemy infantry on my ping full squad is better. Enemy infantry on my ping full squad moving left to right is best. Now we have an excellent idea of how we should handle the situation because we have a full and detailed report. When encountering armor, make sure you are identifying what specific armor it is. Enemy armor on Able armor mark is good. Enemy Tiger on Able mark is better. Enemy Tiger moving west from Able armor mark is best. This will let your AT player know what to expect and where he needs to position himself to be effective. It will also let friendly armor on the field know how to best engage or disengage. Be concise. While it is important to be specific, make sure you are also being as concise as possible. There is a difference between enemy infantry on my ping moving left to right versus there are a few enemy guys, like 4 or 5 on my ping. Looks like they are moving near that rock over to that barn. Oh my god, I just took 2 of them out. This is awesome. You get the idea. I'm not telling you to not get excited about good play, but the fewer words you use to convey information allows for more room for other information as well. Here's some bonus advice. Be positive, be courteous, and focus on the solutions to problems versus on the problems themselves. While it is important to identify a problem in order to address it and learn from it, dwelling on it and placing blame will only drag you and your team down. Instead, use that energy to come up with and implement solutions. I mentioned earlier that some of this stuff is a habit from work, and I just wanted to point this out as I'm not making this stuff up. A lot of these tips are derived from my real-world experience that simply translates well to Hell Let Loose, and all games that are similar, like Postscriptum, Squad, etc. Pretty much any tactical shooter. Passive versus active listening is something I use every day at work, as I deal with multiple radio channels and multiple work groups, so I know how frustrating it can be in both the game and reality. It's not easy, and it takes time and effort to master. You'll have to be aware of it and practice it before it becomes second nature. That's where saying things like stand by can help you, as well as asking people to repeat things you may have missed or didn't fully comprehend. It will also allow you to prioritize certain tasks over others. Communicating in Hell Let Loose can be very difficult, especially in the officer roles, but hopefully these tips can help you improve. If you want to see these principles at work in-game, then check out some of my gameplay plus commentary guides, as they are full matches where I break the game down and discuss the actions I take and the thought process behind those actions. I was going to add another part to this video discussing directional callouts and how to improve on those, but this one is getting long, so that's going to get its own video. I'll get the next gameplay plus commentary video out and then I'll revisit that. Anyway, I hope you all found this video helpful. Make sure to check the description for links of all kinds. There's affiliate links to PC parts and accessories. There's an invite to Glow's Battlegrounds Hell Let Loose community Discord, of which I am a happy member. There's also a PayPal link if you'd like to help support the channel directly. There's a Green Man Gaming link where you can purchase Steam keys to games at no extra cost. So check all that out. Please do all the things that help the algorithm. As always, thank you so much for your support. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.